Okay, hello. Hello, folks, and welcome back to Pop Full Mail, apparently. Um, yeah. Hello, folks, I'm Zy the KQ Squirrel Moggington, your gracious, short-centered host, and, welcome to Broken Sword 2, the Smoking Mirror Remastered. The remastered part doesn't really change that much, but it is an alteration from the original game, if that concerns you. And we are here tonight to play Broken Sword 2. And in many ways it is the perfect sequel. It is bigger, louder, and dumber, and it involves the Mayans. And having glanced briefly and skimmed a video last night to remind myself, because I have played this before, the introductory half hour of this game is more fucking gonzo nut butter deranged than you can possibly prepare for or expect. They just go fucking nuts here. I kinda like it. I mean, obviously I like it, or I wouldn't be here playing it. Like, I don't know. I have been informed that it's weird that I mostly play games that I, like, enjoy as opposed to just whatever is trending this week or specializing in something. And, like, I don't view that as a problem with me. I view that as a problem with the Twitch system. If Twitch incentivizes you to play shit you don't like, then Twitch is dumb and bad. So, those are my feelings anyway. Ah, yeah, let's balance my pitcher of water right here on the edge of the desk. That sounds like a great idea. Let's move that over some, actually. Broken Sword 2, Smoking Board. No, it's Smorgasbord. Actually, it's more like Smorgasbord. Smorgasbord. Welcome to Broken Sword 2, Smorgasbord. Never played a video game. The captioning system has no idea what to do when I switch into Swedish Chef mode. They just has no idea how to transfer these. Nope, it just completely fucks itself. That's beautiful. That's amazing. I love that. Yes, hello. But yeah, did you know that Smorgasbord comes from a sort of Dutch open-faced sandwich on this sort of, thick, dense, almost crunchy rye bread. Smorgasbord. They really stack those sandwiches, too. Like, for an open-faced sandwich, you can pile that shit high. I watched a video yesterday about open-faced sandwiches. I don't know why I watched a video about open-faced... The important thing is that's the umlauts. Ah, yes, the umlauts. You cannot have... You need the umlauts. Also, I love that you've just made chatty like shit itself. The only thing it knows how to do is ooh with those. No, I think it got the U right. Anyway, you look like the subtitle script for the early part of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I know I was... I'm pretty sure I was talking about something. I have no idea what I was talking about. I am, My brain ran out of ideas. Need that in Uwu speak. Files of Umwats. Let's go over here and oh no, I'm invisible. Hold on. What the hell happened there? Okay. Let me video tube. Okay, here I am. Born to survive. I am the princess of the universe. Okay, let's bring you folks down here. There. I was kind of hoping that more folks would show up, but oh well. They're gonna regret missing this, because the opening few minutes of this game, the opening 20 minutes or so of this game are fucking deranged. So, if you're not here, you need to regret your life choices. I'm just saying. Alright, let me nudge the volume down just a titch. We'll get into Broken Sword 2 Remastered. Is this capturing? This is not capturing. Hold on. Why is this not capturing? Because I'm on the wrong screen. I have to be over here. Okay. Yeah, this is at a weird resolution. I remember now. Let's try this again.
This must be the place. Professor Ubier's house.
Looks pretty creepy. I'd been away from Paris and hadn't seen Nico for nearly 6 months. I wanted to celebrate our reunion, but she had other plans. An appointment with an archaeologist. Something to do with a Mayan stone she came across while researching a story. The guy who answered the door didn't look much like an archaeologist to me. I had a bad feeling about this.
Sorry. So, welcome to Broken Sword 2. The first thing you'll notice, of course, is that Nico has a new voice actor. Obviously the most important thing to focus on here. They change voice actors for Nico every game. Let's see, what is this? 6 months later, here I am back in Paris. Got a meeting lined up with Nico. She wants me to go meet some archaeologist with her. A guy called Professor Ubier. I don't know what it's all about, something with carvings on a Mayan stone. Truth is, it'll be great to see Nico again, whatever the reason. There's a spider.
There were only 3 things I didn't like about spiders. The way they looked, the way they moved, and the fact that they lived on the same planet as me. This spider was big, mean, and hairy, and definitely not a native of Europe.
Let me know if I need to adjust any of the settings. I'm willing to dial up the volume, dial down the volume. I think we should dial down the music volume a little and dial up the speech volume. What's under more? Okay. That was a settings. Yeah, George is not being hit with a wrench. Let's see. So there's a spider here. Yes. No. Thank you. Fuck off. Anyway, let's save immediately.
What I'm trying to say is maybe you ought to save.
Shh. And we'll kick the spider some. Because this seems like a good idea. Let's antagonize it. Come on, I know you'll kill me. Come on.
I decided to work out how to untie myself before exploring further.
Oh, okay. Come on, you can kill me. I thought there was a death here at the start of the game. I'm not sure if we just have to sit here, or if it's actually impossible to die, or what. Spider's just gonna stare at me and make me feel uncomfortable. I do feel distinctly uncomfortable. I thought for sure we could get killed here. Maybe the remaster took out the death. Come on, spider. Man. That feels bad. I want to die. I want to get killed by a giant spider. That's a cool... There we go. And so we get face-huggered. And George screams, "Quah!" Beautiful. Alright. Since we know we have like an hour before it kills us.
I glanced over the books, vaguely hoping to find a copy of How to Deal with Poisonous Spiders While Tied to a Chair. No such luck. But I noticed one corner of the bookcase was supported by a loose block of wood.
It's the one between George's feet, so it's hard to notice.
The block of wood had been used to replace the original foot of the bookcase.
Anyway.
Maybe I'd been a little heavy-handed, but it was a question of survival. Of course, I was still tied to a chair in a burning house with no means of escape. The bookcase had been anchored to the wall by a protruding metal bracket. It had sheared off as the bookcase had fallen, leaving a jagged edge.
Well, let's escape.
With one mighty bound, our hero was free. Now, I had to deal with that fire.
I'm really feeling the difference in facial expression between the like HD close-up version of George that pops up here to monologue us and his like chubby cheek over here. His weird angular chubby cheekbones that are like, I don't know. Anyway.
The rope was shredded and no possible use to me.
Let's take it anyway.
The rope was shredded and no possible use to me.
Well, it's more shredded than you are. Burn.
It was the chair I'd been tied to. I had no time to sit around.
Spider.
Yellow pus was seeping from below the bookcase. That spider was very squashed.
Need to see that non-portrait face. Okay, hold on. Can I get him up closer to the camera a little bit? The spider was shredded and no use to me. Like, look at his goofy fucking smile. It's beautiful. Can I get you to face on? Yeah, there we go. And then we can look at stuff.
Even if I had the time, I wouldn't be able to get to the books beneath the heavy case.
Oh, well. Can we taste the
I
spider?
wasn't touching that spider goo.
No. Spider goo, radioactive spider
It was a
goo.
needle-sharp dart with a flight of green and yellow feathers.
The audio's okay for everyone, by the way? You let me know. What's this?
That dart was sharper than a mosquito's business end, but this didn't deter me from getting it anyway.
What's this?
It was the box that spider had crawled from. I wasn't going to touch the box after that spider had been inside it.
George.
The fire had taken hold and ignited part of the polished wooden floorboards.
Happily, this is not spreading at
I
all.
racked my brains to think of a way to improvise a fire extinguisher. If only I'd stopped for a coffee at the airport.
Unfortunately, George cannot piss because he did not get coffee.
It was a soda fountain, perfect for mixing with drinks or squirting at clowns.
Aha.
There was no pressure in the siphon. I guess it was out of gas.
Out of gas. Just like me. Let's check out Nico's purse.
It was Nico's bag. It was a stylish little canvas number containing a lipstick, a handwritten note, and a pair of nylon panties with a large love heart emblazoned across the front. It occurred to me that Nico's tastes must have really changed while I was away.
No.
Well, they could be useful.
So that's what George decides to take.
I guess I had no business reading the note, but I figured it might give me a clue to what Nico was involved in. It was from Andre Labanau, the history student Nico had known at college. The letter was sentimental mush, and revealed that the exotic lingerie, as he called it, was a gift from him. It gave his telephone number. Labanau figured himself as a rival for Nico's affections, but I couldn't believe that that creep was in the running.
So yes, it's just Andre being Andre.
The bureau had a sliding lid.
Look at this photograph!
Ubier and his wife, I guess. Nice couple.
That's Phil and Kaja Foglio. Not really, but that's who it looks like.
It was a closed drawer. In the drawer was a small decorated pot.
I decided to shoplift it as slowly as possible.
The pot contained a key. It looked like a house key.
Don't you keep all your keys in pots?
Inside, I found a bottle of tequila.
Oh, hell yeah! This is the perfect time to get drunk.
It was a half bottle of extra strong Mexican tequila. Just what I needed under the circumstances. Normally, I didn't drink strong spirits, but today was far from normal. Ew. Disgusting. Not only did the tequila burn like hell, I just managed to stop myself from swallowing the worm. What looked like a little shriveled wiener lay on the carpet. Thankfully, it was
But
only
enough
the worm
about
from the
you,
tequila
George.
bottle. Well, I wasn't going to eat it. But life had taught me one thing. No matter how unlikely it seems, the strangest objects have their uses.
So
Even tequila worms.
I don't know if we actually need the tequila worm. I know that it triggers a Easter egg late in the game. If I recall correctly. Anyway,
In the cabinet's wooden door was a very small keyhole.
keyhole?
The key was way too large to fit into that tiny keyhole.
Okay, well, let's try and pick the lock then. One thing that's bothering me is that you have to click and hold and drag. And the icon isn't anywhere near the arrow. Makes me feel like there's some misalignment going on. But there isn't.
As I released the lock, something blew the doors open. It was a small metal cylinder. That cylinder was hot. I couldn't pick it up with my bare hands.
What else we got? Nothing else. Alright, there's a little metal cylinder in here. We can't pick it up with our bare hands.
The panties I'd found in Nico's bag were just what I needed to wrap around the hot cylinder.
George, phrasing, please.
The cabinet was already open.
And then we can use the cylinder on the siphon.
The cylinder gave out a faint hiss as the valve opened.
Remarkably calm for someone staring at a house fire. He does.
Now I had one primed up and ready to use extinguisher.
Spoiler, we will not be catching up to him for some time. I'm hoping to manage this stream. We will see.
Well-aimed squirt of his soda fountain, our unshakable hero saved the day. Now it was time to start looking for Nico.
I will promise that this game contains much more Nico than the previous game.
I wasn't going to burn myself on that red-hot doorknob, and it wasn't the time for subtlety.
I like how long that fanfare went on.
It was a folded clipping taken from a newspaper.
What's this?
I'd found a piece of newspaper folded in two. It referred to a forthcoming eclipse of the sun. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be visible from Europe. The best place to view the eclipse would be Mexico.
Let's make a phone call.
Much as I disliked him, Labano might be my only hope of finding Nico. Hi, Andre?
Who is this?
It's George Stobart, Nico's boyfriend.
Don't you mean ex-boyfriend?
Look, I didn't call you just to pick a fight. I need to talk to you about Nico.
Can't you accept she's just not interested in you?
Listen, Andre, we need to talk. Nico's life depends on it.
Okay. You remember the cafe at Montfaucon?
Sure. Andre? You'd better show, you creep. I felt an irrational urge to wipe my ear.
I think the stereo separation on that was messed up, actually. George's voice was coming from my right instead of the left, which is where his little facial thing was on screen. Oh well.
The door led to some other part of Ubier's mansion. It was locked.
Not that entirely in your right. Okay, so my headphones aren't on backwards. That's good to know.
The door was locked. I didn't fancy my chances of kicking this door down.
Oh, right. Solved a lot of
unlocked the
potential
door.
miscommunication. It does, but potential miscommunication are what makes plots go. If you just say everything clearly and distinctly, you don't have a storyline.
I wasn't looking forward to meeting Labino again, but he was my only link with Nico.
Everybody
There
remember
was
this
no sign of
stream?
Labino when I got to the cafe. I decided to order a coffee and wait for him.
We won't be exploring it.
Oh, garçon. He ignored me. I'm sure it was deliberate. It was too hot to sit inside the cafe. Besides, I might miss Labino. Hey, you.
Quoi?
I'd like a cup of coffee if you don't mind.
When I finish serving this gentleman.
Okay, well.
I had no desire to go down into the sewers.
Really, George? You used to love the sewers. What happened, George?
Un café.
Thanks. Do you know a guy called André Labino?
Oui, I know him. What of it?
Well, I'm supposed to meet him here. Did I miss him?
No, I have not seen him today.
Look at this. A poison dart.
Ah oui, sure.
It's the real thing. Knocked my girlfriend out cold in a matter of seconds.
Romantic. Sounds like a real close relationship you have going.
Yeah, the stereo separation in this is really weird.
Do you know that man over there?
I should think so. He's a regular customer.
Who is he?
A man with a secret. He used to be a cop.
Of course. I'd met the gendarme in this very cafe.
He was kicked out of the force a few months ago. Since then, he's been drinking himself stupid. His liver must look like the last pickle in the jar.
Have you heard of Professor Oubier?
Oui. He married that actress, the little dachshund. They used to come here. The nutty professor and the movie star.
He married a dachshund? Is that legal in France?
If Oubier's wife was a movie star, how come I never heard of her?
She was big in France. The world doesn't stop at Hollywood. Her stage name was Carol Climax. She died in suspicious circumstances.
Carol Climax. That's a good name. That's a great name, actually. He married a dachshund. Oh, okay.
How did Oubier's wife die?
I heard he shot her.
And got away with it?
He had a good lawyer and a watertight alibi.
Well, that's suspicious.
Why would an eminent public figure like Oubier risk everything for murder?
He wouldn't be the first, would he? Besides, people like him always get off.
That's all.
Thank you.
Well, well, this is a surprise, Georgie.
I wouldn't normally call you. But Nico's in trouble, Andre. Deep trouble. You have to help me find her.
What? What have you dragged her into this time?
It was you that recommended Professor Oubier as an expert on Mayan art. Now his butler has kidnapped her. And he tried to kill me.
Every time she gets involved with you, there is trouble. Walking out on her was the best thing you could do.
My father was dying, damn it. I had no choice.
Well, she soon recovered once she went back to her old friends.
Drop it, Andre. Right now, Nico's in danger, and we have to work together.
So, how can I help?
Nico needed to speak to Oubier about a stone.
Oh, you mean this stone?
That's your phone case, Andre.
So that's what all the trouble's about.
Precisely. Nicole told me to guard it with my life.
Oh, it's worth more than that, surely.
Oh, very funny.
What's funny is that your life really is on the line.
What are you talking about?
The stone is a Mayan artifact, dummy, and the guy who kidnapped Nico was from Central America. It was the stone they were after.
Oh my god, you mean I could be in danger too?
I love that we got a good close-up on him for that. And yes, he does look like hipster Egon Spengler. It's kind of fantastic. Alright, let's show him the worm. Most important thing we can do.
What do you think this is, Andre?
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. It's got more backbone than you.
You think you're amusing, don't you?
Sounds like he's remembering I'm supposed to have an accent every third word or so. Yeah, the voice cast in this is a little weird and rough. I think like every reoccurring character from the first game got recast. Except for George. George is the one character who I think has never been recast in the entire series. Nico in particular has a new voice actress every game. The interesting thing about George is that he is Rolf Saxon. He's been in at least one James Bond movie. He's been in, I think, every Mission Impossible movie. He's been in a lot of... I think he's been in a couple Tom Clancy movies. But most importantly, Rolf Saxon, George Stobart, is one of the American narrators for the Teletubbies. Very important to know.
What can you tell me about this pot?
South or Central American, I'd say. I have a friend who'd be able to tell you more.
Where can I find this guy?
He owns a gallery on the left bank. The Glees Gallery.
Okay, Glees Gallery. Why does the butler look like he grew up in Mikhail Evil? Maybe he did.
Does Ubier employ a guy from Central America?
Maybe. I don't know.
You never been to his house? I thought you guys were pals.
Fellow academics, Georgie. It's not quite the same thing.
Everybody hates the fourth game. Everybody hates the third game and the fourth game. I'm very curious about both. Like, you know me, I like the games that people hate. So I'm very curious as to what makes people hate them, and why.
Why didn't Nico take the stone to Ubier?
I don't know. Perhaps she suspected something like this would happen.
If she's been hurt, Andre, I'll break every bone in your body.
No, that's typical of you. Do you think I don't care what happens to Nicole?
It occurred to me that slugs don't have bones to break, but I kept that thought to myself.
The major thing about Broken Sword 4 is that they really sideline Nico hard. George gets a new sidekick, and Nico only shows up a couple of times. Messing with the character dynamic was one of the major things that made the fandom kind of riot.
Tell me about your friend Ubier.
He's more of a professional acquaintance than a friend.
I see. So you don't really know him at all?
No, I don't.
What do you suppose the carving on the stone means?
I don't know. I haven't shown it to anyone.
Why don't you just give it to me?
I don't want your death on my conscience, George.
That's nice of you.
Where did Nico get the stone?
I'm not sure I should tell you.
Oh, you should.
It was something to do with smuggling.
See you later.
Goodbye, Georgie.
The auto ending of the conversations is so fucking... Wow.
I've had enough of your games,
Let's
Kalam.
go.
Tell me what you've done with my stone.
I thought your business was simply smuggling cocaine, Karzak. Why are you so interested in that stone?
Either you tell me what I want to know, or Pablo here will make you talk.
Okay. Well, I figured someone at the university would be able to help. So I had a word with one of my girlfriends, and she told me her boyfriend was a lecturer. I sent the stone to the Department of Ethnology. You know, I figured it was South American, so... You're not buying this, are you?
That's enough! I don't have time to listen to your mindless prattle. We'll leave you to think it over. Come the morning, you'll be ready to talk.
God. The bad guy in this game looks like a cross between, like, the villain of the movie Small Soldiers, and he looks like he should be demanding pictures of Spider-Man. Maybe we should split the difference and demand pictures of, like, the action figure of Spider-Man. Anyway, this dude was really obviously listening in.
Pardon me, but
It's like
don't
the
I
villain of
know you?
Avatar. That too.
Huh?
You were here the day I found the catacombs.
I was. Ah, yes. I remember you.
Yeah. Are you still in the police force?
No, not anymore. I'm a man of leisure. And what brings you back to Paris?
I like that we just get the one picture of Nico. Like, what brings you back to Paris? This?
My girlfriend.
What it is to be young and in love. Will you share a bottle of wine with me?
Hey, listen, I'd love to, but I need to keep a clear head.
So my company isn't good enough for you.
Alright, you want company?
Tell me what you make of this note.
From my years of experience, I gained a pretty good insight into handwriting. I'd say that note was written by a compulsive, obsessive type with an Oedipus complex.
Hey, you got just about everything apart from the ponytail. What do you make of this news cutting?
Orphanage supplied fast food chain?
No, it's the article above that.
Oh! Total eclipse of the sun. Well, that's very dull in comparison. I don't know anything about eclipses.
This dude is just running in and out and in and out and in and out.
I'm trying to find my girlfriend. She's been kidnapped.
Kidnapped?
Yeah, it was our first day back together after many months.
That's too bad. My God, that's depressing.
Whoops, I think we made him want to kill himself. Sorry, man.
It was a small silver flask from which the man was topping up his glass.
What is that?
I couldn't snatch the man's flask while he was looking.
Well, let's see if the waiter can distract him, because my kleptomania just kicked in. We need that flask for something. The one time I want the waiter...
Excuse me.
What?
What's that you're drinking?
It's wine.
Yeah, I don't believe you. Nobody keeps a pocket flask of wine. Well, he is French.
You need anything else?
What does that guy keep pouring out of his flask?
Absinthe.
Absinthe? I thought that was highly dangerous and outlawed in France.
It is. Don't look at me, I didn't sell it to him.
That's all.
Thank you.
Absinthe, I wonder if there's some way to get that away from him. Maybe while he's drinking. A second worm has hit the tower? Oh. You mean, just give
The
him...
man was still looking.
No, he wasn't. He was drinking. Okay, let's put the worm in there. I guess not. Absinthe also has a worm... Well, absinthe has wormwood. It's not the same thing. Really.
Excuse me.
What?
Why did you leave the police?
I was forced to retire. The golden handshake. Only in my case, it was more copper than gold.
How come?
I was made a scapegoat to cover up the department's inefficiencies.
Typical police business, okay.
Do you miss being a gendarme?
Yes, of course I do. When I wore that uniform, I commanded respect. Not anymore.
Wow, we're really depressing this guy. I can't think how we would get that flask away from him, though.
Excuse me.
What?
Didn't you try to appeal against your dismissal?
There was no point. It was my word.
He does keep covering his eyes.
And he was a close friend of the director of the museum I was supposed to be patrolling.
There we go.
I grabbed the flask and was struck by a powerful smell of absinthe, a highly potent and illegal alcoholic drink.
Alright, let's go.
Now I had another lead. I could either go back to Ubier's house or visit the Glee's gallery.
Let's hit the gallery.
The Glee's gallery had style and class, but very few customers.
Well, it's got glass.
I couldn't believe it. The pots were marked at 5,000 francs each. As far as I could tell, the pots were almost identical to the one I'd found in Ubier's house.
Ah, yes, sticker shocked by art.
The wasteland. Too minimalistic for too much money.
You're such an art critic, George.
Rectangles in a desolate landscape. Highly cubist. Spheres in a barren waste. Oh, very profound. I could see a pattern emerging in this artist's work.
Make these sprung I don't know what you're talking about.
It was a machine for reading credit cards. He was a pear-shaped guy with a fine display of multiple chins. He looked like an older version of Labano, the same supercilious expression, the same disdain in his eyes, and the same damned ponytail.
Alright, let's get this pot appraised.
Are you Mr. Glees, the owner?
Good God, no.
Then I guess that must be him over there, right?
Your powers of deductive reasoning astound me.
Would you give me your opinion on this pot, sir?
Yes. Very rapouche.
Rapouche?
Hideous.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Thanks, asshole.
You smashed my pot.
Certainly, it was not only worthless, it was ugly and offensive.
To you, maybe.
Believe me, I was doing you a favor.
I'm led to believe this is how artists actually act in France. And also in some corners of the internet.
What's the difference between my pot and all those other pots?
Yours is broken.
Why, you smug, pompous sloth.
Sticks and stones, dear boy, sticks and stones.
Well, let's break his bones and see how he feels about that.
What's that you're drinking?
I'm not sure, but I have a suspicion it might be urine. Glees can't expect a favorable criticism of his gallery when he serves this muck.
That pot you smashed belonged to Professor Ubier.
Did it really? I thought the man had more taste.
I wasn't going to waste any more breath talking to that pompous blimp. Maybe I could turn the situation to my advantage, and at the same time, get my revenge. The pot had smashed into too many pieces to retrieve.
Alright then, let's talk to Glees.
I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Certainly, sir. I'd be most happy to oblige.
You're English?
These days, one prefers to think of oneself as European.
Sure. Whatever you say.
And how precisely may one assist you, sir?
There is a gentleman over there who seems to be enjoying your wine.
I can't think why. It was very cheap.
What I really wanted to ask you about was a black stone.
A black stone?
Yeah, it's a Mayan artifact, about as big as my hand.
No, sir. One doesn't get much call for black stones. If it's Mayan artifacts you're interested in, I have some rather exquisite pots.
So did I, until that slob smashed it. I have some questions I'd like to ask about those pots.
The Mexican collection? Certainly, sir.
Where did you get them from?
Mexico, of course. I think sir will find the price extremely reasonable.
Hey, I'm not interested in buying them.
Oh, I see. In that case, you'll excuse me.
Oh, the Mexican collection. Yes, it came from Mexico. Thanks, man. Let's see if we can lace the wine.
I didn't think he'd be interested.
No? Alright. Ah, wait, the glass is a separate hotspot. Let's wait for it.
I splashed a little absinthe into the glass and hoped he wouldn't notice the change of color.
Did you put something in my drink?
Yeah, I did. What do you think?
Well, it's certainly an improvement over Gleese's wine. In fact, I could grow to like it.
Okay, well... It is bright green. And I guess we're not going to be able to turn him in for drinking absinthe. Oh well.
Have you heard of Professor Oubier?
Of course. His name is synonymous with Mayan art. A number of these artifacts were supplied by Oubier himself.
That said, the, wine itself was apparently bright yellow, so...
Do you believe the story that Oubier murdered his wife?
If it was true, who can blame him? She was an opportunist tramp. Well, that's what I heard.
Ah, yes, rich assholes.
I suppose you have an import license for these relics?
Of course. But that's not my problem, sir. The professor arranges all the shipping. We simply collect the items from the docks.
From the docks, interesting.
Could you tell me which docks Professor Oubier uses to import the artifacts?
Good God, no. I can't possibly reveal my commercial secrets.
Maybe he has something to say now.
I'd had enough of talking to that slob.
Alright. Oh, there's a packing case back here.
It was a sturdy packing case.
I hoped he wouldn't notice me adding something to his wine. Hey, did you add something to my wine? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Uh-huh.
That area is private.
Oh, so I'm not allowed back here?
No, sir.
Damn. That means I can't really get a good look at the case. Alright, what could we use to, let's just drug him. Let's just fucking knock him out.
I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
I don't care. Kill him. Kill him to death. Give him the panties.
I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
They're art. Damn it. Okay.
A valuable relic of an ancient civilization lay smashed on the floor.
I'm sure there's something we can do here. I'm just not sure what. Let's have a chat with these people.
Hi, girls. What's the joke?
あなたはキレてですね。
Okay, fine.
I genuinely don't know what that means. I suspect it's the weird American is trying to talk to us, but... I'll have to try and figure that out later. Well, let's finish exhausting the, conversation tree over here.
I found this news story referring to a total eclipse of the sun.
Really, sir? Well, fascinating.
He could not give a fuck.
Do you get many Central American Indians in here?
No, sir. This is Paris. Central America is several thousand kilometers southwest of here. Straight across the Atlantic Ocean and turn left. You can't miss it.
Well, as it happens, I saw some Central American Indians this very morning.
Tourists, sir. Paris is full of them at this time of year.
Back when I originally played this game, I had to keep stopping and going over to, like, the Wikipedia page to verify. Yeah, Revolution is a European company. They're just making fun of Europe. At all times.
Have you seen any of Ubier's wife's films?
Only one. Believe me, I was appalled, shocked, disgusted, and repulsed.
Well, you sure got your money's worth. Last time I went to the movies, I wasn't even titillated.
Just gonna stare at each other over
It was a
that.
machine for reading credit cards.
Can I
I
grab
had
it?
no possible use for a credit card reader.
Can we shove the dart in it? No, okay. Yeah, I can't think of a good use for a credit card reader. Can't think of anything to do with the smashed pot. Why does Super Macho Man run an antique store now anyway? You will have to deal with your headcanon on that one. I don't know. Let's try dosing him up with... Let's try putting the tequila worm in there. The moment he has... Yeah, his glass is accessible. Let's put the tequila worm in it. No. Maybe I mistimed it. No? We literally just can't do that? Okay. What about the poison dart?
I thought about dipping the poison dart into his drink, but thought better of it.
Kill people, George. Kill people.
Allow me.
Okay. So now that he's distracted, let's head back here.
It was a sturdy packing case. There was nothing in the case but styrofoam packing, but pasted on the side was the remains of a label. Underneath the logo of a flying bird were the words Condor Transglobal Mars. The rest of the label was missing.
Martians! Holy shit, who knew? Anyway, that guy's dead.
He was out for the count.
Maybe.
Glees wasn't happy, I could tell.
Good for him.
Were those pots very valuable?
The pots are insured, but not the shelving. You've no idea how much that cost me.
I wasn't going to waste my breath on that drunkard.
Anyway, let's head out to the docks. I guess. No? Well, let's try the cafe then, and we'll show the label to the old cop.
Excuse me.
What?
He wouldn't have wanted that.
No?
It was the label I'd found in the Glees gallery.
Maybe it had a phone number on it? Let's try the
I could
house
either
then.
go back to Ubier's house, or visit the Glees gallery. There was no one else I wanted to call.
No? Okay, well, I am a little bit
I had
jammed,
a
but
choice of destinations. The cafe at Montfaucon or the art gallery.
I feel like we're done at the art gallery. Maybe. I feel like we must be done at the art gallery, because I can't think of anything else we'd want to do. Let's interrogate the cop a little bit more. We didn't finish out the complete tree. Let's see how much we can depress him. Maybe we can get him to throw himself into the sewer system.
Excuse me.
What?
Have you ever heard of a Professor Oubier?
No, monsieur. I don't recall the name.
Well, apparently he's an expert on Mayan art and history.
A little out of my field of experience, monsieur. If he'd been a serial killer or a sodomite, I might have been able to help.
Okay. Yeah, have you been out there butt-fucking the locals?
Excuse me.
What?
Ever heard of Carol Climax, the movie star?
Yes, but I don't care for the kind of movie she's made. It's smut like that which has caused the moral decline of the Western world.
Really? Are they good?
Is it true that Carol Climax was murdered by her husband?
First I heard of it. I thought she just retired.
Which museum was it you were supposed to be patrolling?
The Kroon. It wasn't as if anything important was stolen. Just a rusty old tripod.
The tripod had returned a few weeks later.
Let's see, George ruined a man's life. Yes! George ruining people's lives is, you know, that's how it works. Anyway, this guy's still down for the count. Maybe we can ask him about the label?
Go away.
Okay. That man is clearly dead. Good. Can I run it through the credit card machine? No.
It was a machine for reading credit cards.
Did I miss something back here, perchance? Not that I'm seeing. Man, see, you guys went straight to porn, and I was like, maybe she's an action movie star. Wow.
The pot had smashed into 2 minutes.
You guys are really fucking lewd, you know that? Get out more. That said, you know, everybody's like, oh, they're so degenerate. So, either she is a porn star, or she's making, like, wholesome movies about puppies. Let's see, I mean, we could try the hint button. This is France. That's a good point. She might be a YouTube influencer. That's true. Can't yell at us for going there when you were actually right. I can yell at anybody at any time. I can just yell for the hell of it. Alright, I'm gonna push the hint button. Puzzle hints. I have the packing label. What else do I need to know? Alright, let's go ahead and push it. The newspaper cutting. Alright.
Hi, Professor Einbach.
Hey, it's our new doctor. Nice to see you. I feel great.
You're scared. You need to trust me.
Thank you.
It was the newspaper clipping referring to the imminent eclipse. Wrapped inside it was another small piece of paper.
Oh!
It was a bank statement for Oubier's account from an automatic telling machine. The last 5 withdrawals were for large amounts, and all made in Marseille. It was beginning to make sense. Oubier had organized Nico's abduction. Oubier withdrew money from Marseille. Oubier was connected with Transglobal, who shipped their goods from a warehouse in Marseille. That's how the torn Transglobal label had once read. Marseille, not Mars. It wasn't much of a lead, but it was all I had. I set off immediately to catch the evening train.
Alright, that one was my fault. I should have looked through stuff more.
It was almost dawn when I arrived in Marseille. I traced Condor Transglobal to a desolate dockside.
I'm hoping the saves all work here. ATM machine to tell you that Mars is not a place you can ship from. Yes, it's true. I just saw a pop-up. Yeah, here we go. Sign.
It was a small sign.
What does this say?
The sign read, rightly enough, no entry.
It's true, there's no entry here. A fence.
A chain-link fence barred the entrance to the docks.
Well, that fence won't keep me out because I can't read.
What's the big idea?
I don't know. The dog went berserk for no apparent reason.
He's trained to do that. The idea is to deter any would-be intruder.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just remember, he's a trained attack dog. A killer.
Are you a killer?
It was a mean-looking guard dog. Here, boy.
Let's barbecue these shanks. Yeah, I felt bad about doing this briefly, and then I didn't anymore. Yeah, let's barbecue this dog. What's this?
The spike held a stack of papers which appeared to be shipping documents. None of them referred to Condor Transglobal.
Take them anyway.
Ouch!
Gotcha! That'll learn you to leave things alone.
No, it won't. It'll learn me to wait until you're looking away before I touch anything. George Sicko Stubbert. Yeah.
It was a box of blank forms.
Ooh, that might be more useful to have.
It was the only source of light in the watchman's hut. It was the trapdoor which the Slav used as a waste chute, straight into the sea.
Interesting.
A shabby old overcoat hung from a peg near the door. It was a packet with a picture of a boxer dog on the front. I couldn't reach the door without climbing into the room.
Okay. Well, he's not going to be using that trapdoor again. I like the little wisps of smoke drifting out of the chimney. They're very well animated.
The chimney was a metal pipe with a conical hat on top to stop the rain getting in.
Oh, is that what that's for? Okay. What if we use the worm on the dog?
That dog looked like he already had more worms than he needed.
Oh, that's fair. We can go around back. Why does the worm have an angry face? Because he's angry. It's an angry worm.
Bobbing up and down in the oily water was the watchman's discarded beer bottle.
Well, obviously we're gonna need that.
The bottle was just out of reach. Nothing was going to get me into that water if I could help it. The platform was held up by a hinged bracket. I couldn't figure out what it was for. Maybe it was part of a structure which no longer existed.
Maybe it's a diving board.
My arms weren't long enough to reach the platform.
If only I still had that sewer key. Hi there! How's it going, man? Isn't this nice, just hanging out?
I couldn't reach the coat. I couldn't reach the door without climbing into the room.
Okay, that's fair. Probably can't reach any of this stuff. Can't reach that. Can I grab the biscuits?
I couldn't reach the packet.
No. George does not have 8-foot-long gibbon arms, so... Hole?
I couldn't reach the bucket.
George in the hospital watching his dad die. Dad, there's one last thing I need to tell you. Does this red nose mean anything to you? Dad, I know you don't have long. Do you want to shake my hand one last time? I'm the worst person alive.
Ouch! That's hot.
Okay, wrap panties around it.
The panties would not have been thick enough to shield this level of heat.
Well, we can't really do much here. Did you actually just ask me that? Can we pick the lock with the blow dart?
I decided I would not be able to pick a 5-barrel hardened steel heavy-duty padlock with a dart.
Alright, that gives us some important information. George may be a lawyer, but he is not the lockpicking lawyer. Because the lockpicking lawyer could fucking do that. Whoops. Let's see. I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank here again. Let's try fiddling with the padlock.
Breaking steel padlocks with my bare hands was a feat I'd never mastered.
Alright. There must be something we can grab from over here. Maybe we just have to wait until he's sipping.
The watchman wasn't going to let me near the papers.
Really? Not even
the
these?
box contained nothing but blank forms.
Oh. Hey, can I have some of that?
I couldn't reach that far. I couldn't reach the bucket.
Alright, let's ask him.
What you want? Do you know what time it is?
No, I don't wear a watch. As my dad used to say, I'm not into time, man.
Well, you're too early.
George? Was your father a hippie? Nothing wrong with that.
Ever heard of Condor Transglobal?
Sure. They have a warehouse here.
Well, could I take a look?
Not until after the holidays. Come back in a month.
I have to make a delivery to Condor Transglobal.
Where's your rig?
About half a mile down the road.
And you walked here? Jeez, are you some kind of nut?
Nah, it was easy. I just put one foot in front of the other. Are you gonna let me make my delivery?
Not without the paperwork. You get the papers, you make your delivery, and I get a fat backhander.
I was getting nowhere with the story about being a trucker.
Alright, that's fair. Also, what the fuck is a fat backhander? That sounds... Never mind.
Does that dog belong to you?
Nah, he comes with the job. I just feed him every now and then.
More then than now, I'd say. What's the dog's name?
20.
It's unusual for a dog.
It's his registration number. Security dog number 20.
I always like when names are numbers. I thought about being named like 42 for a while, but then I decided that the constant Douglas Adams references would get really fucking old. So, I named myself something even more stupid and obscure.
What time is it anyhow?
The big hand's on the floor. Why aren't you in bed?
I can explain everything.
Never mind, I ain't that interested.
I don't blame you. None of these conversation topics are getting exhausted.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, pal, what is it?
A poison dart used for hunting.
What would you hunt with that? Mice?
No. Monkeys and stuff. The tip is dipped in poison.
Hey, what you got against monkeys?
I love monkeys. I was just using them as an example.
Well, don't.
Okay.
What's cooking?
Beans. You know a man can live on nothing but beans.
Not this one. Don't you ever get tired of eating beans?
Sure I do. What do you take me for?
And what's the alternative?
Peas. I can't eat them too often, though. They play hell with my digestion.
Full of green penis and beans.
Have you ever considered changing your diet?
What's wrong with beans and beer?
You need me to tell you? You're pumping out enough methane here to fill a dirigible.
Okay, George, just walk up, tell him he farts a lot, and leave.
Does number 20 have rabies?
Nah, just a bad attitude. Like I said, he's a trained attack dog. They took him when he was a puppy and messed with his head to make him the way he is.
Wow, that's depressing. Okay.
Do you know what kind of business Condor's involved in?
I'm paid to guard the gate. Their business is none of mine.
We're getting nowhere asking this guy questions.
Have you ever heard of Professor Oubier?
Me? None of my friends are professors or anything like that.
I have these very exotic panties.
Take them away, you pervert!
Yeah, panties with a heart on the front don't even strike me as exotic. Like, is that really... Is that like a pervert thing? That doesn't even, like, move the bar as far as perversions I know of go.
Take a look at this letter.
That's sick. Did you write it?
Oh, no. No, it's a letter from my girlfriend's admirer.
If I was you, I'd smack him in the mouth.
Well, that's not my style, but thanks for the advice. What time do you open the gates?
7.
Do you mind if I hang out here till the docks open?
Please yourself, but you'll have a long wait. It's Sunday, and tomorrow is the start of the national holiday. Everything is closed for a month.
Well, wouldn't you just know it?
A month? A month-long holiday? I gotta fucking move to Paris.
I'm looking for a young woman.
At the docks? What kind of woman do you have in mind?
You don't understand. It's my girlfriend I'm trying to find.
Well, I ain't seen her, and you should tell her the docks ain't no place for a young lady. They're dirty and they're dangerous.
I'm certain my girlfriend was brought here when she was abducted.
What? Your girl was kidnapped?
Yeah. Struck down by an Indian with a poisoned dart.
Like the one you showed me?
The very same. I could tell he didn't believe me. I gotta go now, but I'll be back.
Can't wait.
Well, that didn't get us anywhere. Aha!
A short stick of wood floated near the edge of the landing stage.
Imagine all the things we can do with a hook. We can hook things.
The stick had a hook on one end. I figured it was a boat hook. For hooking boats.
Now we're down at the docks and we can become a hooker.
I just knew that boat hook would be useful for something. As for the bottle, even if I couldn't find a use for it, I'd cleaned up the dock a little.
I don't think George is a hotspot. I cannot put panties on. Yeah. And I can drop that down. Which...
It was a platform which could be raised or lowered.
Alright, I see. We bring the platform out. We lure the dog out here, somehow. We drop the platform. The dog falls in the water. We put the lipstick and panties on the dog. We take our new girlfriend home. We forget about Nico. What was this bottle of?
It was the beer bottle that slob of a watchman had dumped in the sea, now half full of filthy dock water. The label read, Surge, the beer that clears your head.
Surge beer? I'm thinking of like the Jolt Cola alternative Surge. Alright. Hi there. Can I hook your keys? No. Can I hook your coat?
That was no good.
It's no good. No? Okay. Thought it turned into an interaction on the keys. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing it on the coal scuttle. Can't do that. It would be very poetic if I could use a bottle to knock him out.
No.
There must be a reason I can come up here.
No.
Excuse me? Huh? Who's there?
I think George just fell and crotched himself on a support beam. I don't think we died, but we did humiliate ourselves, and that's almost as good. Would have been a glorious... It's true, it would have been a glorious death. Let's pour this bottle into the chimney.
The bottle was half filled with water. Maybe it would cool the cone down enough to touch it. Now I could see into the pipe which formed the chimney.
Okay, we have access to a pipe. Think of all the things we can do with a pipe. We can put a worm in it. No.
The chimney was a metal pipe which disappeared into the wall.
We can pour more water down there.
The bottle had blocked the chimney, and the hut was filling up with smoke.
Hey, we got him out of the hut. Okay, let's... Grab some coal.
Someone had once told me a piece of coal brought you luck. Who was I to argue with irrational superstition? The box contained nothing but blank forms.
Dog treats.
The packet was full of dog biscuits. It was a filthy, stained coffee mug. That mug was a health risk. I decided to leave it where it was. The saucepan was 3/4 full of baked beans.
Can I eat some?
Baked beans in ketchup.
And yeah.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Get the hell out of here.
Okay, just hold on to that dog.
Alright, well... guess we're not going out that way. Oh, he's back in. Okay.
It was the box of biscuits I'd taken from the watchman's hut. Gourmet dog. The snack your dog would bake himself. Sure, as if I'd let a stupid dog loose in the kitchen. There was a cute picture of a boxer dog wearing oven mittens.
You want to eat one, George? No? Okay.
Hey, 20. Come and get it, boy.
We're luring the dog out on the platform, and then we're dumping him in the ocean.
I felt a slight twinge of conscience as I prepared to give the dog a dunking. It soon passed.
I felt bad about this briefly, but...
As I'd expected, the dog could swim like a... well, like a dog.
Oh, he's going out to sea. Okay, bye, boy. Had to put that in so you know the dog is okay. Yeah, but... they didn't have to. As an adventure game player, I would have just done it. Anyway. Anyway, now we can vault the fence. And George pretends he's stealthy.
It was a beautiful piece of 19th century engineering, but not a lot of use to me. The doors looked 100 years old, but they were still very sturdy.
I mean, as an adventure game player, you just kind of fuck people up.
The clamp was held in a mechanism which forced its jaws open.
Fucking people's lives up is part of the job.
I decided not to tamper with the clamp. Those jaws looked like they could snap shut at any moment.
I bet if I went out there, in the wider world, out into the open blue yonder, and I just started fucking up people's lives and taking their stuff, eventually I would stumble onto a plot to end the world. And I would have to foil it, except I wouldn't. I would join in. And then I would rule the world. Shit, that sounds great. Why aren't I out there doing that? Why am I in here playing video games for the internet? I gotta go ruin some people's lives. Be right back.
It was a duct from a ventilation fan.
Because that involves going out to... oh, yeah. Never mind, plan cancelled.
The metal housing prevented me from getting to the fan.
That's its job.
The clamp consisted of 2 metal jaws, which would close when weight was applied to them.
Okay, well, that's cool.
The window was jammed shut.
Probably so is this one. Wait. No, we have a window.
It was a powerful fan. No.
Can we do anything with the fan? Why, Azra!
That did the trick. The fan clunked and shorted out as its blades were mashed by the boat hook.
Hey, you make any more noise, I break your arms.
That bully needed to be taught a lesson.
Garzak's already mad because we didn't get the stone. You give me any trouble, I'll tell him it was all your fault.
Karzak? That must be his boss.
Alright, okay. We're making a start here. Can we slingshot the coal with the panties into the back of his head?
Nope.
No, because... Wait.
I decided there was a better way to attract their attention.
Is attracting their attention what I want to do? Okay, well...
I decided there was a better way to attract their attention.
Hmm.
The boat hook was jammed in the dented fan blades.
Well, I'm not getting that back. A better way to attract their attention. I can't think what it might be. Say hi?
I decided there was a...
No.
It was the creep who'd kidnapped Nico. And I had a score to settle. The guy was partly hidden behind a stack of crates.
Wave panties at him?
I decided there was a...
No. Let's see. Maybe I should... Okay. Here's a thought. We go down here, we knock on the door, we run back up here and climb in the window.
There was a little grill set into the door. The grill opened from the inside.
Knock, knock!
Who is it?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart.
What do you want?
I've come for my girl.
No girls here.
Open up, creep. I got the feeling he wasn't too pleased to see me. No.
Alright, now let's climb back up there. The music's getting very dramatic. Subtle. I don't know if George knows what subtlety means.
That was no good.
Oh, okay. Oh, he just goes back in. Alright. Well, let's try this again. I'm George Stobart, and I'm still here for my girl.
Hey,
What now?
police. We want to talk to you about abduction, arson, and attempted murder.
You got a warrant?
Sure, I got a warrant. Open the door, I'll show you.
You wait.
That's got him scared and angry.
I mean, we could just stand here and see what the man does. That's probably a bad idea, though. That'll probably get us killed. Do you want to die? Maybe we should go ahead and try to get killed. Oh, wait, too late. No blood this time, though. Last time we had that whole thing where George would, like, roll around on the ground like, ooh, ah, ooh, but no. Alright. Yeah, we died again. It's fine. Dying is cool. Yeah, it would have been better if George had yelled that. Thank you for killing the guy from, not Battle for Olympus. Wrath of the Gods.
Hey, what now? Is this Condor Transglobal?
Nobody here. Go away.
I'll give you 5 seconds to let me in, or I'll bust down the door.
Okay. I'm coming.
He didn't sound too happy.
Alright, let's... I have another idea. Now, while he's distracted... Wait a minute. This can't possibly work. George, you dork! That's a little fist pump jump. Bar the door. Good idea.
There was a small drawer in the desk. Knowing my luck, it was bound to be locked. The only interesting thing I found was a small brass key. There was a notice board beside the desk with an assortment of paperwork on it. Among the paperwork which adorned the notice board was something which caught my eye. It was a delivery note from Condor Transglobal, and the address was Coramonte City.
Coramonte City. I don't know where that is. Where did that guy go?
Whoa! Don't shoot! The little guy had a blowpipe. That confirmed my suspicions about what had happened to Nico. I waited for him to shoot me, but it didn't happen. Instead, he seemed to want to tell me something. What? What do you want? He seemed excited, almost desperate. What did he want so bad? Hi. I'm not going to hurt you.
Coramonte.
Is that where you're from? Coramonte City?
Coramonte.
Okay.
Give him the dog.
Tell me what you've done with Nico, and I'll share these biscuits with you. I knew it sounded lame, trying to bargain with a box of doggy snacks. Besides, how was he to know how yummy they tasted?
Do you know how yummy they taste, George? Have you been eating the dog snacks while I haven't been looking? I wouldn't put it past you, George.
This was the dart you used to knock out my girlfriend. If she's come to any harm, I will count you personally responsible.
Lotte capito fnor.
Nord? Nord, okay.
Do you know what this is?
Peito. Lotte capito. Inyakot lagoino mutu.
Okay. What about this key?
What does this key unlock?
Huh?
Sure, man. Here.
Hey, you're manacled. Who did this? That big thug? I'm gonna set you free, okay? Come back here!
You did a good deed, George. Don't worry too much about it. You did probably a good deed. I don't actually
on the
know.
ground amongst the stack of crates. It was the button to call the elevator.
Great elevator going up.
Just in time. Interrupting the beam of light kept the doors from closing and stopped anyone from using the elevator. But what now?
Push the crate in front of it.
There. That would keep the doors from closing. The crate was labeled Danger. Live contents. Do not drop. There were small holes in the top and sides, and scratchy noises coming from inside.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Let's stick our face in there and see what's in there.
But decided not to risk dropping it and meeting the live contents.
Oh, okay.
The statue looked as if it was Central or South American in origin. It was a pulley attached to a long rail which ran the length of the building. It wasn't much use, though. No rope. There wasn't much I could do with a pulley that didn't have any rope.
We need a rubber chicken with a pulley in the middle. What's in here?
I realized the doors must lead to a loading platform high above the dockside. A sturdy beam was jammed across the doors. These doors were not going to open.
Damn. They might if I had some rope. And I could... Well, wait a minute.
The short chain stopped the cuffs reaching from the statue to the winch.
Oh.
There wasn't enough room to move the handle.
No? Okay.
It was a large crate with no label. No chance. Whatever those crates contained, they were heavy.
Surely there must be some rope here somewhere that isn't part of the background.
There was no way to open that window.
I feel like if we can get this pulley, the pulley connected to the bars, then we could move it. But I'm not sure how we do
The
that.
statue looked way too heavy for me to move.
Alright, what if I use the manacles and then I use the panties on the manacles?
The short chain stopped the cuffs reaching from the statue to the winch.
No.
That wouldn't work.
I'm arresting these panties. They can go to jail.
It was the metal cone I'd taken from the chimney of the watchman's hut.
This must have some use somewhere. Fuck if I know where.
There wasn't much I could do with a pulley that didn't have any rope.
Maybe, what I need to do...
An unmarked switch. Tempting.
Ooh. Unmarked switch. My god, a lamp.
I noticed a faint mark on the wooden floor.
Ooh, I found the light switch.
There was an arc-shaped scratch on the floor, as if a door had been opened in the nearby wall. My fingers traced the outline of a secret door in the wall. Then I found a small round stud, which was set flush to the surrounding wooden paneling. Just as I'd hoped. A secret room.
I love secret rooms.
Nico!
You have unlocked bonus comic. Okay. That's cool. Didn't know that was a thing.
Nico was trussed up like a chicken, but she didn't appear to be harmed. Hold still. This might hurt a little.
Ow!
Think yourself lucky you don't have a mustache.
Thank God it's you, George. How did you find me?
I'll explain later. We have to get out of here.
Where's Pablo, the big guy?
Out cold. Too much wine doesn't agree with him. Are you okay?
Of course I'm not okay. Untie me this instant.
Ah, rope!
There. How you feeling?
Oh, thanks, George. How on earth did you find me?
I knew Ubier had been in Marseille. But never mind about me. How about you tell me exactly what's going on, starting with that Mayan stone?
I picked it up
What
from
a
one of
dodge.
Kazak's men in Paris. I was expecting a consignment of narcotics.
Drugs?
Yes. The proof I needed to expose Kazak's smuggling operation. I'd set it up to act as his courier, and once I had the proof, I planned to go straight to Inspector Mou. But instead of the dope I'd expected, they sent me that stone instead. And to find out more, I called Professor Oublier, who invited me to his mansion. At least, I thought it was Oublier.
I don't get it. If Karzak's business is drugs, why is he so desperate to get his hands on that stone?
Maybe it has some significance to the local people in Central America. It could be Karzak's means of getting them to work for him. Anyway, we've got to get out of here.
Nico, wait! It was a grotesque little statue of a figure carrying a shield and a spear.
Oh, okay. Let's grab that. Akko's right in the coat with all of my other stuff.
We can't use the elevator. If that thug Pablo's recovered, he'll be waiting for us.
We've got to do something. Where does that door lead to?
I'm not sure.
Let's find out.
The rope wasn't long enough to reach the pulley.
Damn. Let's use the panties. No? Let's use the handcuffs. No? Shit. Rope doesn't reach the pallet carrier either. I don't know where this would reach. Nico, do you have any rope?
Okay. Tell me what you know about Condor.
Condor Transglobal exports Aztec and Mayan relics from Central America to Europe. But that's just a cover for the real business. Drug smuggling.
What proof do you have?
Nothing yet.
Damn.
Do you know where Condor is based?
In Central America. A place called Quaramonte.
I saw that name on a docket downstairs. Tell me about this Karzak guy.
Well, I saw him for only a few minutes, but he frightens me. I got the impression that Pablo was nervous when he was around too. His eyes, they're like a wild animal's, like a tiger. That's what scared me most about him. He looked so unpredictable and dangerous.
Did I hear you refer to Inspector Mou?
Yes, you remember him?
Well, of course I do. But I thought he was dead.
Oh no, He reappeared after the broken sword case had blown over. When he found out who was in with the Neo-Templars, he went into hiding. Mu knew more than was good for him.
Does he know about our involvement with the case?
If he does, he's not telling. Still, he got a sudden promotion.
I believe that this is a retcon. I think there is one obscure line buried somewhere in Broken Sword. If you try to go to the police station, like, very late in the game, that Inspector Mu has died mysteriously, and, you know, that kind of thing. It's supposed to be foreshadowing for the other police agent being involved with the Templars, but I missed that, and apparently they decided not to run with it anyway, so I don't know why I'm talking about it, honestly. Oh well.
Have you any idea who this little statue is supposed to be?
I'm not very well acquainted with Mayan deities, Georges, but whatever his name, he sure is ugly.
I found these in your bag.
Oh, they were a gift.
I know. I read the note.
God knows what was going through Andre's mind.
I think that's quite plain enough.
Because that's how caring about a thing goes. What do you mean? Maybe if I use
The short chain stopped the cuffs reaching from the statue to the winch.
Yeah, I don't need it to read from the statue to the winch. I need it to read from the statue to the rope. Or the winch to the rope. Or any of that. I just need something like that to happen. Maybe I can grab the rope and actually use it on the manacles, and then... No, that steals my, Don't know why I'm talking about this, because cut content is cool and the game is cool.
The short chain stopped the
True,
cuffs reaching
it's
from the
just,
statue to the winch.
as a retcon, it's a little... like... It's there, but it's not hugely important. Hey, Nico, do you want some dog biscuits?
What was it you wanted to talk about?
I didn't think she'd be interested.
Oh.
Look, the little guy downstairs was chained up with these.
That must have been Pablo's doing. I don't blame him, though. That little guy is dangerous.
You're still sore about that poison dart?
Of course I'm sore.
Okay, Nico, can you hold the crate, maybe, of animals?
I didn't want to risk dropping the crate and releasing its live contents.
No.
The crate was labeled...
There's definitely, something I have to be doing here. I'm just not sure what.
There wasn't enough room.
Not enough room to move the handle. Maybe the two of us can move this crate.
No chance. Whatever those crates contained, they were heavy.
I don't think I can actually team up with Nico. No. Maybe both of us can open the door?
These doors were not going to open.
Alright, genuine confusion here. Tape. Can I tape the rope to the pulley? No.
The statue looked way too heavy for me to move. There wasn't much I could do with a pulley that didn't have any rope.
Also, this game is cool. Is this game cool? This is kind of a dark game. I mean, the main character is a dork. And it's all puzzle-solvingly with... Looked it up if I needed it. Well, the nice thing is that there's a little hint button here. So... Still, if you'd like to give me a nudge, I wouldn't say no at this point. I recognize you looked it up on purpose. For helpful reasons. And I will admit, I'm pretty... The light has a sensor somewhere.
I decided to leave the electric eye alone. It was a device to prevent the elevator doors closing when they were obstructed.
The light has a sensor.
It was the light switch. Nothing happened. That was probably because the elevator was already on this floor.
Ah, did you... did you look up the wrong thing? You see what the walkthrough is saying? That's obtuse. Oh, wait a fucking minute. If I put this tape over the sensor, I don't need the box here anymore.
Hopefully, the tape would prevent those doors from closing and stop the Indian from being able to call the elevator.
We give it a push. Now what? Now I can move this from here to here. Now I can move this. Now I can move the pallet jack.
The pallet rose about 6 inches off the floor, and I said a silent prayer to whoever had discovered the power of hydraulics.
What on earth are you doing?
Trying to raise the statue so I can hook it to that pulley.
Is that really going to help us?
I like to keep myself occupied in times of stress.
Nico, please don't stand in front of the rope. Thank you.
The statue looked way too heavy for me to move.
Well, now we jack it back down. And we've hung the statue.
It was too heavy for me to move on my own. Could you give me a hand to push the statue?
What for?
This, my dear, is our passport to freedom.
If you say so, dear.
Such a naturalistic chemistry they have.
Okay, push! Great teamwork.
Nice to be working with you again, Mr. Stobart.
A cable stretched way out across the docks to a building in the distance. I thought about hanging from the cable with my bare hands, but it was too far to the other end of the cable to escape that way.
Aha!
Nico, I have a great idea.
You liar. Back in Paris.
George, where have you been?
Never mind that. Do you have the Mayan stone?
Maybe I have, but,
Don't argue, André. Give the stone to George.
well, of course. If you say so, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Andre.
George, he told me you'd been kidnapped, my dear. I'm glad to see he was mistaken.
Oh, but it was true. If it hadn't been for Georges, I wouldn't be here now.
It's not finished yet. Karzak's thugs will be back for that stone, you can bet. The best lead that we have is Coramonte City.
Coramonte is in Central America. That's where Ubier gets his artifacts.
That's all we needed to know. Come on, Georges.
I wonder if they're related. A few days later.
Coramonte, the traveler's rear entrance to Central America. Well, that's how it was translated in the brochure. We didn't know what we were looking for, but the offices of Condor Transglobal seemed a good place to start.
Hey, it's market day. I don't see any cabs. Let's ask someone how to get to Coramonte City.
Okay. Keep your eyes peeled for any sign of Condor Transglobal.
Nico looks kind of like a... I want to say mechanic? And George just looks like... he bought his outfit from, like... Seriasan Global International. Nico looks like the girl from Resident Evil 5. Shiva, I think. No. Shiva's the lady from Mortal Kombat. No, it's Shiva Alamar. Yeah. Alright, there is a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, it's Sheva, not Shiva, exactly. Shiva is Mortal Kombat.
George Stobart, well, of all the...
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged.
Okay. They recast her voice again. Well, I say again, this is the second game of the series. They recast her voice, and she sounds much less Midwestern. She sounds way, way less Minnesotan.
Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
What?
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil-sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understood it.
Apparently they decided to really lean into the we're not sure if they're spies or not thing. So... he's so undercover, he doesn't fucking know he's undercover.
What brings you to Coramonte, Pearl?
What takes me just about anywheres. The market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the Great Design, George.
Pearl be shopping.
Take a look at this news cutting, Pearl.
You'll have to read it to me, George. I left my specs in a gay bar in Santa Barbara.
Well, it's about an eclipse of the sun, which is due to occur in a few weeks' time.
You'd think the government would warn us about these kind of things.
It's not dangerous or anything. Apparently, the best place to view the eclipse is right here in Coramonte.
Oh, my.
She didn't appear to be the slightest bit interested.
I really like the facial expression. Which one of it is by? These two just coincidentally show up as tourists anywhere near a city that's heavily involved in Broken Sword bullshit. Good for them.
What does this mean to you, Pearl?
What cute little feathers. Why, if you had 2 of those, they'd sure make nice earrings.
This isn't intended for frivolous personal adornment, Pearl. It's a dart, tipped with a fast-acting, muscle-numbing poison.
Pardon me, I stand corrected, honey.
Sometimes I get the feeling that communication with Pearl was like sending signals out into space. Maybe, if you waited long enough, you'd get an intelligent answer back. But it was a long shot.
You know, George, she's a little more coherent than you are sometimes. Like the couple in Gabe Knight 2 that ended up being crucial to Grace. That's the role I kind of wanted for them in, like, the first game. I don't know about the second, but I did really like I think they were the... God, I can't remember their name. I think they were also the Hendersons, maybe. But yeah, I loved those two.
Look at this, Pearl. A tequila worm.
Don't you bring that thing anywhere near me, honey. I swear I'll scream like a hog on a hot plate.
What do you make of this stone, Pearl?
Oh, that's pretty. What's that thing supposed to be, a rabbit?
I believe it's a coyote.
Well, it sure is cute.
I was surprised she didn't ask me where she could buy one.
Rabbit, coyote, they're basically the same things. They both got ears.
What do you make of this statue, Pearl?
Woo-wee, that's a spitting image of Dwayne's brother Sheridan. A little less body hair, maybe, but it's him all right.
Catch you later, Pearl.
Hi, Pearl. Good to have seen you. Alright, let's check out the police station, and then I think we will wrap up.
I have done just as I have been instructed, Professor.
Oh my god, that guy looks like a...
With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe
looks like
your
Kurt Hennings.
Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Senor. Welcome to Quarmonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to Earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
He looks like Kurt Hennings playing the Joker.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Graciento, at your service.
Alright, I think we're gonna break here. We will talk to the General next time.
I'll be back.
But this seems like a good place to save and stop. We're apparently 40% through the game after 2 hours. That's a hell of a pace. Wait, what's this? Oh, here's that comic I read. Wow, this is a way better presentation than I gave it. Okay, cool. If I'd have known that's within the game, I would have just waited. Oh well. Beautiful, good to have more Broken Sword. Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be playing these old adventure games that people do seem to still enjoy. Like, this is still being sold on Good Old Games. They're making a new Broken Sword as we speak, presumably, if the Kickstarter went through. I don't know if it did. I don't know. I'm hype. I'm glad. On Tuesday, we will... On Tuesday, we will do something. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe Armored Core. I don't know. I've been wanting to get back to Armored Core. Maybe we won't do Armored Core. Maybe we'll do something else. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, that's it. Good night.